It is the million-dollar question. Is Eli a Hall of Famer?
Skip, this is really tough on me because when I comment about a player should or shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame, it's not Shannon Sharpe said a player should or shouldn't be. It's Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe said. And it's almost like I'm saying he doesn't deserve to be in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. But when you look at it, Skip, he's going to get in. He is. He's one of 5 quarterbacks that's won multiple Super Bowls and a 2-time MVP. Brady, Montana, Bart Starr, Terry Bradshaw. He's one of 5. That's it. And it's not, Skip, if he beats anybody else, who did he beat?
Yep.
He took down Goliath twice. Even if you say the first time the helmet catch was the luckiest, that throw to Mario Manningham might have been the greatest throw in Super Bowl history. Cover 5, to drop that ball in like he dropped it in, Skip, that was a great throw. See, I think the thing is we get so caught up. He ain't Peyton. He's not Brady. He's not Breeze. Look, there are 320, 325 in the Hall of Fame. Skip there, look, guys get in the Hall of Fame. But everybody ain't Jim Brown. Everybody's not going to be Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. So when you look at his career, yes, 117 is 117. That's not good. Led the league in interception 3 times. But and the way it's going now, he getting in, Skip. And would I be surprised if it's on the first ballot? Absolutely not. Because they say the first ballot is for the best of the best. We're talking about you can't even tell the story of the NFL without these guys. Would I be surprised if they put him on the first ballot? No, I would not. But
wow. You wouldn't?
I would. No, Skip. Think about it. Because here's the thing. What should give people pause. It's not, well, Eli's retired. The first thing, what was the next thing out of the mouth of Eli's retiring? Is he a Hall of Famer? We've never had to ask that question about any other quarterback in the history of the game, Skip. Not one time.
Interesting.
But this is what this is how really on the fence a lot of people are. You look at him and say, I believe it should be an era. In your era when you played, look at his peers. Where do you put him? You can't compare him to guys that played, Elway in the 80s and 90s and these other guys. Look at when he played. He played against Brady. He played against Breeze. He played against, Big Ben. There are a lot of guys, Phillip Rivers will have that same conversation, minus the Super Bowl, about Phillip Rivers. But, Skip, I wish there was another way I could frame it. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame. He's going to have a gold jacket.
Will you feel good about that?
I don't feel it. I'll be honest, Skip. I don't feel anyway. I don't feel anyway. Because, I'm sure there are people probably think I don't deserve to be in there, but I'm in there. So, Skip, look, it's hard. It really, Skip, it really is. People don't understand. It's kind of like, you do journalism. You win a Pulitzer Prize or you win the highest writing honor, and they say, what do you think about this, Skip? You think this guy should win the Pulitzer? And Pulitzer Prize winning journalist Skip Bayless says no. Now he's like, well, Skip jealous, Skip's a hater.
Sure.
So you can't win, but Skip, looking at the way it's trending and the guys that are getting in that we didn't think were going to get in, Eli Manning's going to be a Hall of Famer, and I wouldn't be surprised if it's on the first ballot.
I do appreciate your position on this because it is a precarious position that you are in. And not that people need to be reminded, but you did have to go through 3 ballots to get in.
I did.
So you know full well what it feels like not to get the call.
Yes.
It's hard on you.
Yeah, it is.
After all you accomplished, you don't get a call, and you don't get a call.
Yeah.
You got to wait a whole nother year. It's like, man, and it's torture, man.
I remember telling a couple of the guys that voted, I said, well, hell, if you didn't like 3 Super Bowls and 10,000 yards and 800 catches this year, you're not going to like it next year because guys are coming in with 1,000, with 1,200, with 1,300. And got 100 touchdown catches.
Interesting.
So how do you like 62 this year, but you're going to like it more next year?
Okay, I'm not in the Hall of Fame, and so I don't have to worry about what you're worrying about right now. What have I told you from the start? My rule of thumb.
You got to ask.
If you have to ask, you're not in. If you have to second guess it for 1 second, is he a Hall of Famer? It's like Tom Brady. Is he a Hall of Famer? Yes, he's a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He's the greatest quarterback who ever played. Boom, he's in.
Right.
And I can do it with several other players.
Breeze.
Okay, it's just in.
Okay.
Let's think of somebody else, receivers, great Julio Jones,
Julio's
like
in.
he's just transcendent. He's
Right.
going to be in the Hall of Fame.
Correct.
And there's no, well, I don't know, did he? Okay.
Interesting.
So back in my early days on ESPN, I sort of invented in my mind the Hall of Very Good. And I will give you the Hall of Very Good for Eli Manning because he was very good.
Right.
He just wasn't transcendent. He didn't sort of reinvent how the position was played.
Right.
So for me, he's not in my vision of your Hall of Fame.
Right.
And there are some guys who have gotten in that I wouldn't have put in the Hall of Fame. But I'm staunch about it because I want it to be the cream of the cream.
You don't see general manager says, I need to find the next Eli Manning.
No. So to your point, he finished 117 and 117 as a starter.
Right.
That's not great.
Nope.
He led the league in interceptions 3 times, as you point out. So he started 16 seasons for a cornerstone franchise up in New York, the New York Football Giants, and he made 4 Pro Bowls in 16 seasons. That's not transcendent, right?
Right.
And he did, to your point, he won 2 Super Bowl MVPs. But the truth was that the Giants' defense, the defensive line, deserved to be the MVP of the first Eli Brady Super
Right.
Bowl. And in the second one, just for the record, Brady's QBR in that game was 84 to Eli's 73. But Eli made one great throw. And that might have been the throw of his career,
Right. Oh, yeah.
right? Down the chimney to Manningham.
It's hard to find another throw skip in Super Bowl history that was better than that one.
Okay? But if Tom Brady doesn't barely miss another throw when they had the lead with 4 minutes left, if we could, there's the throw to Manningham. Now if we could see, this is Brady's throw to Wes Welker. And it's not a terrible throw.
Right.
It's not like Dak overthrowing Tavon
Right.
at Philadelphia where he missed him by 10 yards.
But people that's watching this skip don't understand. Do you see that safety driving?
Yep.
If he throws it inside
it's a problem. Okay? I
a
got
big
it.
problem for that
Okay?
receiver.
And I've said this many times. I believe Hall of Famer Shannon Sharpe is going to catch that football.
Yeah.
Wes Welker's 5'9", 5'10" maybe, and he doesn't run many up the field routes. They're all underneath, and this was up the seam, and I don't think he's really used to adjusting in the air for a throw that was a bit outside because he needed to be a bit outside.
Looking at it, Skip, and I thought at the time he got caught in between. Do I turn and catch it like
Correct.
this, or do I turn and just catch
Okay.
it over my shoulder?
Well, trust me on this. If you go back and check out the play-by-play of this game, if he catches that ball and it's a first down, I'm pretty
It's
sure
over. The game's
they're
over.
going to win the
Yeah,
game.
game's over.
Okay, so then Eli doesn't have a second MVP and
Right.
Super Bowl ring. So then I look at Eli's body of work, and it's just, if you look at, he's 8-4 in the playoffs, but that was with 2 Super Bowl runs. And if you look at the last 8 seasons, he was the starter for the Giants. They made the playoffs 1 time in the last 8 seasons. Think about that. 1 time in the last 8 seasons, and you're saying he's going to be a first ballot Hall of Fame. What? Well, if I put Smith on the back of this uniform, there's no way.
But Skip, you know how the voters, how they think, and a lot of them think kind of like you think now. Most important position, most valuable position, and Super Bowls are everything to the quarterback. They're everything, and he got them. And who did he get them against? Skip, if he beats, I don't know, I don't know who the Patriots beat the year. But if he beats David Garrard in a Super Bowl, he beats a lesser tier guy.
Yep.
And then you look at the run that he went on to get there. He beat Aaron Rodgers once on the road. He did do that.
No, he did.
So,
I'll give you that.
And people gonna look at like, okay, on his Super Bowl runs, who did he navigate through to get there? So, and the way it's going now, like I said, it's just tough. It's just tough.
Okay. Now back to my all-time pet peeve play. And I have termed it the luckiest play in the history of the Super Bowl. And it just was. And Eli agreed with us in 2016 at the Super Bowl after the season that it was lucky. So look at this. He escapes 3 times. Today's rules, he would have been ruled
In the
down.
grasp. They like to say
in the grasp. And then he just basically closes his eyes and throws it as far as he can up the middle of the field into trouble. And somehow David Tyree, who they said had terrible practices that week, somehow he goes up and snatches it against his face mask in front of a really good safety named Rodney Harrison, who's now on NBC. But look at that. He escapes 3 potential sacks in the grasps, and somehow Tyree comes down with it. And remember, that's a 3rd and 5 play from the Giants' 45-yard line. If you miss that, we're getting toward game over, right? Okay, so that did it. And then to Eli's credit, a few plays later, he did hit Plaxico.
They came on the blitz. They came on the zero blitz.
He made a nice read, and he found him on the fade, and he just threw it. It's beautiful. That's sweet, and I'm going to give you that because that's a game-winning touchdown pass.
Yeah. And you got to go for it. He knows the zero blitz. He's thinking they're going to run a slant. They run sluggo on him, Skip, and then
that was it.
all she wrote.
Okay, so brings me back to a guy we're going to have on the show from the Super Bowl, I think early in the week, and his name is Deion Sanders, and I'm his biggest fan, and you love him too.
I love it. That's my dog.
Deion Sanders reinvented the way cornerback was played. He changed the game. He took over games in ways that made him a transcendent figure. And there have been a lot of good cornerbacks, but he was the best. So if I could read a quote from him from yesterday about whether Eli belongs in your Hall of Fame, Deion said, honestly, I'm not so sure what being a Hall of Famer means anymore. Football immortality used to be reserved for players who redefined their position, made a big impact on the game, or dominated their position for a period of time. The way the Hall is trending now, Eli will get in most likely because he won 2 Super Bowls. It won't be because he embodied any of those 3 points while in the league. It is what it is, man. Okay? We love Prime.
Yeah, we do.
Okay? And yeah,
And he's skipping the thing. Let me tell you something about Prime. If you notice, he rarely ever, because he understands that his words carry credibility.
That's true.
He very rarely will he says, well, if you ask him who's the best corner, he'll name 5 or 6.
Okay.
Who's the best defensive lineman? He'll name 5 or 6. Because he does, so he kind of stay clear. For him to say that, the Hall should heed that what he's saying.
okay? Because he's it, man. He was the best at what he did.
Yes.
So he's looking down from Mount Olympus saying, hey, what are we doing now?
Right.
Come on.
Because that's what Skip, that's what they normally say. Okay, in his era, top 5, okay, he played with Manning, he played with Brady, he played with Breeze, he played with Big Ben. Was he ever better? Was Eli ever thought of better than any of those guys?
But you just mentioned his brother. So he is Peyton's brother.
Yeah.
He is Archie's son.
Right.
He is NFL royalty.
He is.
And I give you that.
Right.
And plus, he's a nice guy.
He
He's
is.
really a nice
He
guy.
is.
And
He
he
is.
never did anything wrong. You know,
Nope.
he was always, he never took any shots.
No.
He was always consistent before and after games. He really didn't have much to say, but he
Right.
never had anything bad to say about anybody.
Right.
Okay?
So I don't know. I mean, he wasn't an all-decade player. He was never an all-pro. I don't know if he's ever led the league in touchdowns or passes or
No.
anything like that, Skip. But like you said, when you look at his era, I thought we're going to judge against era because we can't compare the 2000s to the 40s, and we can't compare the 2010s to the 70s. Okay, compare him against the guys in his era. So where does he rank in his era?
I think you're making the case he doesn't belong, but you don't want to go there.
But Skip, because I understand. If they said, okay, me, you can't compare me and Ozzie because we threw the ball a little bit more in the 80s.
Ozzie Newsome, another tight end.
And Kellen Winslow.
Yeah.
But Skip, look at the 90s.
Yeah.
Who did more than what I did? The numbers, the yards, in the Super Bowls. So you can say, okay, in the 90s, I was the all-decade first team on the all-decade team of the 90s.
And then it came Tony Gonzalez.
Tony
and then
Gonzalez,
it came
yeah.
Gronk.
Gronk,
Okay.
yes. And Antonio Gates was that, because I think Antonio
that's
was.
true. Okay, all right.
'cause you had Witten. All those guys were in there. But look, those Super Bowls, and he's a quarterback. Skip, they carry weight. They carry more weight than all decade. They carry more weight than anything. He has those, and who did he beat, Skip? That's the thing, because you said Tom Brady's the greatest. He's 6-3. And Eli, the guy that's 117 and 117,
Yep.
hung 2 of those L's on him.
Okay, I'll leave you with this. You just brought up my team, the Cowboys, and
Yeah.
Jason Witten. Big fan,
Yeah.
but if you ask me Hall of Fame on Jason Witten, even though I'm pretty sure he's going to get
Yeah.
in, I have to think twice.
Yeah.
And if I think twice, I'm a no.
Yeah.
It's an
Just for the
interesting way to
record,
think about things.
They made it, but a lot of it, Skip, and I hate to say this, they turned into the whole of longevity.
Okay.
Oh, he played 18 years,
All right.
but was he great
Yeah.
or was he really good?
Well, the first thing I look at is how long Eli's been around. I mean, you do go there.
Yeah.
Is it longevity?
I mean, Skip, if I could let
good debate.
if I could let 10 cans a day for 20 years, I believe at the end of those 20, I'm gonna have a hell of a lot of cans. But what the hell have I accomplished?
I don't know if we'll settle this one. This one's always going to be a great discussion.
We'll be doing this show. Now, hold on. Eli retired in 2020. So 2025, when Eli's available, we'll be doing this show.
Yep.
And you gonna have that.
We'll look
Probably.
back on this. It's probably
So
true.
to me, Eli was just a can collector. That's all.
Oh, with
Yep.
2 Super Bowls. There is that.
Thank you for watching. You can subscribe here to get the latest from the show, and be sure to check out more of the best clips from Undisputed, or go watch a few other segments from our other shows on FS1.